Welcome 3D designers. For this week's video, we are going to focus on lesson 3, assignment 3, which is designing a top and building it in Tinkercad. As always, I'm going to assume that you were in class with us. If you weren't, feel free to look at that Lumio right there, that Lumio lesson, or also just make sure you go down here so you can get some inspiration about the things that you might want to create. Okay. I'm going to go into my Tinkercad window here, and I'm going to create one that I've already thought about. So I want to teach you a couple different techniques. I was talking to a couple students on private discussion messages about how to create things, how to recreate things or create things that follow a bit of a pattern. And that's not as simple as doing a copy and paste. We're going to use something called the duplicate tool. And so I'm going to make this bigger here, and I know this seems weird that this is going to be my top, but what I want to do here is just make this kind of the very top of it. And as you can probably know, is that a top has to be symmetrical, right? It's got to be balanced, otherwise it won't spin. Well, that's not true. It will spin. It will just spin off its center axis. So I'm actually going to create the top of it first. I know, top. I'm going to create the top portion of it first, and then the bottom is simply just going to be something that has a point to it. We'll see, maybe a cone or something, just an upside down cone. Here's what I've done. I've created a tube. And so I want to make something that just kind of steps up and smaller tubes on top of each other. And so I've got one here. I've just kind of pulled it off the plane here just so that you can kind of see a little bit better. Here, I can change the color if I choose. Let's go to yellow. Whatever, let's just play around with it. So now here's the duplicate tool. So I have to click on the object that I want to duplicate, and there's some real key things that you have to do. And so here's that duplicate, right? Duplicate and repeat tool. So if you click on it, it feels like nothing has happened, but the thing is it's actually duplicated and made a copy right on top of it. You actually can't see it because it is literally on top of it. It is right flush with it. The key thing, you cannot click off of this. So this has to still be selected the entire time. So you can't click off of it. Whatever you do, do not click off of that shape. And so what I'm going to do here, I'm actually going to play around with this right here. I'm not going to play around with these because sometimes these will, they're not quite as accurate as I want them to be. So I'm just going to play right here. I want the radius to be, I'm just going to step down by 2 every time. So I want this radius to be 8, and you'll see there's another one that's popped up. And what I also want to do is move it up a tiny little bit. Okay, and so now if I click this button, because remember I haven't clicked off of the shape at all yet, so if I click it, it should just duplicate, but it should step on top of it, so it just will maintain that pattern. So there you go. I'm just going to create 2 like that, and now on this last one I'm going to make it now a 6, something like that, and I'm going to again duplicate it, and let's just create 2, and then let's go let's create 2, and then the third one I'm going to make it a 4, and then I'm going to duplicate it again, and then the last one here I'm going to make it a 2. Okay, it's just got a radius of 2 millimeters right in the middle there. Okay, so now I can click off of it because now I'm pretty happy with the way it looks there. Notice that the duplicate tool isn't a copy and paste. A copy and paste copies the exact same image over, and it literally just pastes it anywhere on the plane. A duplicate maintains the pattern. Right? The pattern was I wanted it to be right in the middle, and I was simply going to step on top of the next one. And so I've created the top here. Now I need something like a cylinder or something. Now I don't want it to be a hole, so I want it to be solid. Sure, let's make it the same color. And then what I want to do is, obviously I'm way under here, right? So I'm going to make it way above it, so I can actually play around with it. Now this is the problem with Tinkercad. So I was like, oh yeah, there, it's on top of it. But then you change the angle and you're like, no, it's not even anywhere close to it. Here's what I will do. I'm going to show you something a little bit tricky. There's a work plane here. You can actually play around with different work planes. So if I actually click the work plane, drag it in, and put it on top of this last one here that I have, it creates a work plane on top of that last one. And so what I can do is literally pull this guy here and press a D, and it will drop onto that last work plane. Okay, and then if I click it, I believe if I just click it off, yeah, there we go. It just clicks it off. So notice that I'm on the work plane. I'm just not lined up. So now I'm fairly lined up. I'm obviously going to make it a little smaller because I just want the tube to be quite small so that it fits right in the middle here. And again, here's where the alignment tool is going to come in. I'm going to place it right on top here, and then, but again, if I'm not right in the middle, now the alignment tool might be a little bit, well, no, there we go. I'm actually fairly good with that. I just used the alignment, just the lines that allowed me to put it right on top. Okay, so the top of it is finished. I might actually create it and go a little bit taller here. Now it's tricky which one to choose, right? Is it the one? No, is it the one? No, I think that one. Oh, no, that's definitely not it. Control Z. Is this the one? No, that's definitely not it either. See if I can find something to make it a little bit taller. Is this one? There we go. Okay, so there's my little spinny, right? Obviously, that's not going to spin very good because, well, it needs quite a bit of friction there. So I'm going to take the cone. Do not like the purple, so I'm going to make it a green or something. I don't know. How about Brazil colors? I'm originally from Brazil, and the World Cup's coming up, so. Now, here's what I can do. I'm going to kind of place it anywhere and make it the size roughly that I want it to be. Okay, I can drag it, put it down a little bit. Now here is where you're going to run into a little bit of an issue, right? Because these things are all their own shape. They're all their own object. And so I'm actually going to group them first. I'm going to highlight them all, not this green one. And I'm going to highlight, and I'm actually going to bundle group them, not union group. If you union group them, you'll run into a bit of problems. That's how you make holes. And there we go. Now I move them all as one. Let's see what I can do here. If I can simply, let's put this guy here. Let's make a work plane, throw it on top of this green one so that I can move them around. Okay, and then what I can do is simply kind of drag it roughly somewhere close. Take that, press the D button. It drops the yellow one onto that work plane. Remove the work plane. Now I've only got one. I have to make sure that that is exactly in the middle. So alignment tool is going to be great now. Take this, highlight the whole thing, and then click on your alignment tool here. The alignment tool you can see here has a few things that you can play around with. This is left to right alignment, so that would be exactly what I need. And this is, you know, front to back alignment, if you want to call it that. Right, so there is my alignment. Now I can be perfectly assured that this and this are perfectly aligned in the middle. If I click this one, it's going to align it in the middle of this one here, right, in the Z axis. And I don't want that. There we go. I'm fairly happy with that design. I like it. The last thing I would do is I would probably combine, right, bundle them as well so that I can move them. I can copy and paste a whole new one over here if I want to. I could make it smaller, right? But now, because I'm happy with the design, I can have them all stay together like that. And then I could drop this one or something so that I can see the front of it or the back of it when I take screenshots, things like that. Last step would, of course, be screenshots, assignment template, reflection. Okay, thanks for joining me, grade 7s, and I will see you in class.